We are thrilled to welcome a returning guest, Randy Thomas, who's one of the premier voice artists in the country, along with another premier voice artist, Joe Cipriano, and I'm going to tell you more about them in a second. But guys, Merry Christmas to you both. Welcome.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Santa.
Hello.
Wow.
How are you, my dear?
To be on the show with Santa, this is something else.
Well,
I'm telling you.
well, not only that, but the fact that you guys are doing what you're doing, which he doesn't know this, ties in so beautifully with Mr. Kringle over here. It just couldn't be any better. Randy, let me start with you, and let me just say, Randy is an amazing talent. Her book, Voice for Hire, I use it in my classes. She's done everything from first woman to announce the Oscars to Entertainment Tonight, dozens and dozens of network TV shows, award shows, commercials, you name it. She's phenomenal. And Joe is the voice of Fox Television and CBS and comedies and America's Got Talent, and you just goes on and on and on. But Randy, tell me why.
Yes.
Tell me why you got in touch with me. Let's talk about this.
Well, I was going to say live from Boston and direct from the North Pole, it's Jordan Rich and Santa.
That sounds beautiful, Randy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Santa. You know, my friend Joe Cipriano is sort of the ringleader of voiceover talent. If we were the circus, he would be the ringleader. And Joe had this fantastic idea to record "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." He asked any voiceover artist that he knew if we would step up to the microphone, and I did, and so did a bunch of other folks. So it's a delightful project to be a part of.
Now, this project is downloadable. We'll tell everybody how they can do that, and when they do it, the beauty of it is money goes to benefit this great hospital out in L.A., UCLA's Mattel Children's Hospital. So, Joe, before we talk about, and we're going to play it here and allow people to hear it, but before we get there, just tell me a little bit about what you do and what Randy does and the fact that you guys do what you do. Oftentimes you don't see each other. You do it.
We don't.
But tell me about the idea and how you put it all together.
Well, it's always fun to get all of us together, folks who do voiceover, because back in the old days, you would see each other at studios, maybe twice, 3 times a day. And the way voiceovers work these days, we're all in our own studios all over the country, so we really don't get to see each other anymore. So anytime we have an opportunity to get together, do something together as a group, everybody jumps at it. So we had 31 voiceover actors, and these are the folks that, Jordan, they're at the top. Ben Patrick Johnson, who you hear on every single movie trailer there is, George DeLoyo, the voice of Fox and also ABC Family, and Ashton Smith from CBS and NBC and movie trailers, Randy Thomas from Entertainment Tonight. So we all got together to record "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," and it was a fun project, but my wife said to me, my wife Ann said, you probably can do something with this to help charity. And I said, well, what would that be? What could we do? And she volunteers at the Chase Child Life Program at Mattel Children's Hospital here at UCLA. And that's how it all came together.
Right.
And it's just been wonderful. It's been a great gift to us.
The voices that folks are going to hear here, Santa, in a moment, are so recognizable, and they're part of the fabric. And before we do play this, and I want people to get a real chart. I know Santa's going to love it. Tell us, either Joe or Randy, what people need to do to connect online to download this and help the hospital. Let's give it right now.
Well, go ahead, Randy. Why don't you take it? I'll start half of it, and you do the other half. Well, first of all, you can buy "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" for 99 cents at iTunes or CD Baby or any number of online retail. And all of the money, 100%, goes to Mattel Children's Hospital. But more importantly, if you go to our Facebook page, you can donate $10 or $20 or $50, whatever you can at this time. And our Facebook page is facebook.com/Primetime Voices for Children. That's pretty much it.
You didn't let her do anything, Randy.
Randy, go ahead. You take it.
Go ahead, Randy.
Well, no, so it's just that easy because everyone knows the story of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas." We have a little bit of a twist on it because it's made up of 31 different voiceover artists. And I would say if you're in Boston, probably if you go to that link, that would be great. But even just to download it so that you could have a copy of this forever, that will help us as well.
Well,
so,
I'll tell you, it's a great idea, and the fact that the world has gotten so small, and the fact that I'm in Boston, are you both in L.A. right now? Where are you guys? Joe, you're in L.A., right?
I'm in L.A., yeah.
And Randy?
I'm on the Gulf Coast of Florida.
Santa, this is nothing to you because you get around so easily and quickly, right?
Well, I'll be seeing Randy before I see Joe tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
That's right. He works by time zone.
When you mentioned Ben Patrick Johnson earlier, now didn't he study or wasn't he mentored by Don LaFontaine?
Yes.
We all were.
We pretty much all were. You're right.
It's amazing how much that voice has spread to other voices, and you can hear his voice literally speaking through other voices.
Well, Randy and I are both on the advisory board for the Don LaFontaine Voiceover Lab at the Screen Actors Guild Foundation. And, Randy, you can tell them a little bit about that.
Well, another Joe Cipriano invitation happened because Joe, being in L.A., we were all touched and loved Don LaFontaine so much. For your listeners that don't know who he is, he was that great trailer voice that would say, "In a world."
In a world.
There you go. I hear the deeper voice.
That was darn good, Randy.
Yeah, very good, Randy. Let me ask you. No, I was just going to say, I want to play it in a second, but in terms of very quickly, a little business question. In terms of the business, it really has changed. I do this here on the East Coast, here in Boston, and it really has changed in that so many people are doing it in their own home studios. So when you put this thing together, guys, Randy and Joe, did you all do it at separate locations and then sort of merge it together with one brilliant engineer putting it all together?
Correct. I think, Joe, weren't these done 100% in home studios?
Yeah, 31 actors and 31 different home studios, and everybody took a different stanza. They didn't know where they were going to end up, and I loved piecing it together and picking and choosing where it would go. And then I sent it off to John Massacre up in Vancouver, who's a brilliant producer, and he put it all together, and all the music was donated by Universal Music Group, Killer Tracks. They were so generous in that.
Well, let's do this. Let's play. We may not play all of it. We just want to give people a taste. It's brilliant, and I'm so thrilled to have these two wonderful talents on the line. And, of course, with Santa. Santa, this is really dedicated to you, my good friend.
Oh, I'm touched. Thank you so much.
When we come back, we'll tell you again how you can order this and help some wonderful kids out on the West Coast in a beautiful hospital, the Mattel Hospital for Children. Here it is, Santa, just for you.
"'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there.
The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads.
And Mama in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled our brains for a long winter's nap.
When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter.
Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash.
The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below.
When what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick.
More rapid than eagles, his coursers they came. And he whistled, and he shouted, and he called them by name.
Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen.
To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, all.
As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky.
So up to the housetop the coursers they flew.
with a sleigh full of toys. And St. Nicholas, too.
And then, in a twinkling, I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof.
As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound.
He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot.
A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler, just opening his pack.
His eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry.
His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow.
The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath.
He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly.
He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself.
A wink of his eye and a twist of his head
soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread.
He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work.
And filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk.
And laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose.
He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle.
But I heard him exclaim, ere he drove out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all, a good night." That's all, folks.
Oh, I lied. I played the whole thing. I couldn't resist.
That's great, Jordan. Thank you so
Let me
much.
see what our chief critic here, Santa, has to say about that.
That was wonderful. Absolutely
sounded a lot like you, Santa, I'll tell you.
Well, I've heard the whole story once or twice before.
Guys, that is brilliant. I heard it, of course, off the air, and I started to play it, and my producer and I said, just let this thing go. It's so lovely. Now, this, again, is something people can download and save as a real treasure. And also, they can go to Primetime Voices for Children on Facebook, and they can. And I plan on doing that tomorrow morning, make a donation. And guys... Santa had a question, actually, because Santa and I have worked a couple of gigs on the side here. Santa?
One of the questions as I listened to all of the beautiful voices is that, was there ever any love or desire or memory of old-time radio? Because I'm a little bit older than all of you. And I do remember radio.
In other words, do you guys do any old-time radio recreations?
We were just talking about that with Bo Weaver, who is one of the voices on this piece. And he said that he had found a really cool Christmas radio piece. He said, well, I'm going to try and dig it out, and maybe we can all get together and do that next year. I know I have a love of it, and I'm sure Randy does as well.
Sure.
Well, I'll tell you, you guys are great to come on with me and Santa, and we really want to thank all of you in my industry. It's what I do, and I'm very proud of what you guys have done for a wonderful cause. And again, Joe and Randy, they can go to iTunes or CD Baby or any downloadable source, and what should they just type in? Primetime Voices for Children or what?
Yeah, either way. You can type in "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" and it'll pop up, or Primetime Voices for Children, and then, of course, the Facebook page. And, we were all pretty lucky, 20 of us who are out here in Los Angeles. We visited the hospital this past Wednesday, and we got to recreate "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" for the kids that are in the hospital right now at Christmas time. And, it was more of a gift for us to be able to go there and do that. And the hospital, the people there are so incredible. Patients come, family members, moms and dads and kids come not only from all over the country to Mattel Children's Hospital, but from all over the world. So it really is for a great cause. And if your listeners on the great WBZ, which I grew up listening to, could dig down and give us a few dollars, that would be awesome.
Where does Joe hail from originally?
Connecticut.
Hey!
Yes.
Nicely. And Randy is terrific. I love your book, The Voices for Hire, fantastic. And I know that you've been a trailblazer for women in the industry, and I just hope you're doing as great as you sound.
Oh, my goodness. Well, thank you so much. I'm very blessed. I'm not out there in Los Angeles with Joe and all of our friends, but, I'm hanging here on the Gulf Coast of Florida, and I get to show up vocally all over the world. So that works for me. But thank you so much for having us on, Jordan and Santa. I know
Thank
you have
you,
a
guys.
good
Yeah.
24 hours.
You're doing wonderful, wonderful work. Bless you.
Thank you, Santa.
Yeah, Santa's,
You too.
Santa's, he means it too. Guys, thank you. Merry Christmas, and we'll
All right.
spread the good word, okay?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Take care, guys.